Hi, I'm Jody Jensen, owner of Create. We offer cooking classes and coordinate events for you, and you can find more information on that in the link below. Tonight we're making a delicious steak, skillet stir fry, and you can pair this with noodles or your favorite rice or couscous, whatever suits you or you're hungry for that day. So let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is heat up some oil and garlic and onion. And you always want to heat up your oil with the garlic from a cold point, because if you add your garlic to hot oil, it's going to burn very quickly. So to avoid burning it, we're going to heat them up together. So job number one is to add about 3 tablespoons of oil to our pan. And you can kind of guess, there isn't really a wrong or right way to do this. And then we're going to get all of this garlic in there and get him nice and toasty. You don't need to add the onions right away, but the important thing is to heat up the garlic and the oil together. So not on medium, a little less than medium, because too hot and your garlic's going to end up burning. So we're just going to let them simmer for a few minutes and get the rest of our ingredients together. Okay, so our garlic is getting a little toasty, and we don't want it black or anything, just lightly browned. And I have chopped some onion finely. We're going to get all that into our pan as well and get that sizzling. And we want to get that cooked until it's pretty translucent, pretty see-through. And then we're going to be adding some steak. Okay, so we have here just about a pound of tenderloin steak. They're pretty thick, and they're a little thick for this job, so I'll show you next what's going to happen there. You can use any steak that you want, and a lot of sauce in this steak kind of helps tenderize that as we go. So let's get them cut in half. We have our garlic and onions sizzling behind us, and we will throw this nice meat on there in a couple of minutes. Okay, so our steaks have cooked quite a bit. If you can see here, it's browned almost halfway up the side of the steak, and that's about what you want. That's what you're going for. So we'll get them cooking on the other side. I do like to kind of lay them right on top of that garlic and onions because it really helps flavor that meat nicely. So see, that's got a nice little golden toasty edge to it. And to help season this meat a little bit more, we're going to splash on some Worcestershire sauce. Any brand will do, whatever you have on hand. We're just kind of sprinkling it all over the top, as well as a little bit of red wine. And this helps tenderize your meat even more, which tenderloin doesn't really need, but the flavor is outstanding. And we'll just let those guys cook down a little bit. So while our steak is getting cooked behind us, we are going to work on a little bit of the veggies we're adding into our skillet dish tonight, and it's going to be Brussels sprouts for this meal, but totally feel free to add more onion, broccoli, peppers if you'd like. This is our veggie of the day, Brussels sprouts. So I have the last few here. I cut off the woody end of every Brussels sprout and cut them in half, which will make it a little easier to work with in our little hand processor. You are welcome to cut them however small you like, or shred them up with your knife, and we'll get them ready to go and chop. Now our processor already chopped up our garlic. I don't know if you can still see that in there. Don't feel like you have to wash it because garlic's part of our dish, and it's totally fine to combine the garlic with the Brussels sprouts and chop them all together. So let's get a couple of handfuls in here, and we will get a mini workout while we are making our dinner. Okay, lock him in place. And you just pull the string and chop it all to bits. Okay, so we've chopped our first handful or two. I just took the blade out and set it aside, and I'm going to collect it all in a dish. It is pretty fine because it's going to cook quickly that way and still give you all that yummy flavor. So we'll replace the blade and keep going with a couple handfuls at a time until we have the entire batch chopped up finely and ready to add to our steak. Okay, so our steak is about cooked. We're gonna take them out and slice them up nice and thinly. If it's a little red for your liking, that's okay because it is going to have a little more cooking time this evening before we start serving it for dinner. All right, when you're slicing your steak up, you want to cut against the grain. So I don't know if you can tell, but the grain of this steak is kind of going this way. So I'm gonna make all my slices this way because it's gonna make for much more tender pieces of steak to chew. So we will do all of this in thin strips that add nicely. Look at that, it's just kind of falling apart on us. And this is gonna be returned back to the pan as soon as we're done slicing it. Okay, now we got our steak all sliced up. Some of it's a little red, but don't worry about that. A little red is good, but if you don't like it that way, it is gonna get a little more cooking time in our pan. So we'll throw all these guys in there, and in a minute, we're gonna add the Brussels sprouts. Okay, so we have our Brussels sprouts here all chopped up, and we're just gonna put them right in the same skillet. You don't need to dirty a lot of dishes for this meal, and we'll stick them on there. We're gonna add a little olive oil to help them get crisped up a little. It's probably 2 tablespoons we've put over everything, and work that in there and let them get hot. So to season our veggies and meat a little bit, we're gonna sprinkle salt over the top. So that's up to you how much you wanna do. And then we have this yummy sauce, Stir Fry Classic Sauce by Tsang. And we're gonna drizzle that over the whole pan like this. Not too crazy. You really don't need a lot of ingredients to make a really delicious dish. And we want it to look like that, and we're gonna toss it around. And blend it in and just give it some good flavor.